Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to your week 9 English enrichment class. Because we don't have school on this Good Friday, I'm going to have the lesson recorded for you, posted up onto your Canvas, which you'll be watching from now. And you can always pause and complete whatever needs to be completed, and then come back to continue, or you can always come back after if you need to re listen to anything. Okay, so our week 9 lesson was meant to go a little bit like this. It's going to be a tiny bit different just because we're not at school together. But the first thing that we're going to go through in this lesson is the theme that we have chosen for our school magazine. Now, thank you so much to those Year 5 students that I saw who were posting on the discussion board, replying to each other, commenting and engaging. It was amazing to see, and I hope that in the next few we can get every single person from Years 4, 5 and 6 to be commenting and leaving their ideas. But thank you again to those people who did, and I have taken them all into consideration, and I have chosen a theme that I think brings them all together and gives us a lot of freedom to be creative and write the things that we want to. So I'll be revealing that soon. Once I do reveal that, I will show you that I have allocated one imaginative text to each of you. This is not set in stone, okay? This is an idea for you if you need it. But if you want to tweak it, if you want to change something, if you want to add something in there, you are in charge of your text, okay? You are the creative genius here. You are going to choose whatever you want it to be and make it whatever you want it to be. But that is there to help you in case you have a bit of a block in the beginning, because sometimes I know that the ideas are the hardest thing to come up with. So that will be that. And then you'll also have a discussion board where you can brainstorm other types of texts, like informative, persuasive scripts that you can write for the magazine. And we'll go through some of those when we meet again in week 11. And then, so I've already said that I've allocated a text to you, and you're going to start today planning your text and starting with the stepping stones for the beginning of your writing. Now, our theme has been carefully chosen according to the comments that you've left. I've taken them all into consideration, and I think that this is a mixture of them all. So the theme for our magazine is going to be the wonders of exploration. Okay, I did see that Anita commented about space, and Adarel enjoyed that idea. I saw that Michael also did, and he explained that he thinks that exploration would be a little bit easier to write about, which I did agree, but I also chose it because you can write about exploring space and what you've already done to explore space. And you can write about exploring yourself, exploring your family connections, exploring your history, your um, faith, your heritage, everything like that. So let's have a look at some of the text allocations that we've got for this. I'm going to move this up here so we can all see. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these, but as you can see, your name will be on the left and your text idea that I've left for you is on the right. Again, these are not set in stone. It's up to you to change if you want to, but I'm going to give you some time just to read through that, or you can even pause the video. We've got from Messiah, Elijah Elbra, Ganta, Mark, Anita, Adarel, and Amelie. And the next page will have everyone else. And here we have the IDs for Michael, Ella, Shayna, Alex, John, Mona, and Alyssa. So have a look at those. You can pause if you need more time as well. Okay, bit of change of scenery here. We're now on our Canvas board because after you've seen those, I now want you to go onto the week 9 page. Now, you will have already seen this. You should have already watched the video from Salman Rushdie and left a comment below when you hear some useful writing advice. What I want you to do now is click onto the discussion board and add some comments about the types of text that you think that we could add onto those imaginative ones that we already have, and what the topics that could be discussed could be. So leave your comment there. You can reply to others, you can like them, and we can see the most popular, and then we can allocate those the next time that we meet as well. Okay, back to our PowerPoint. Now you should already have left your comment on the discussion board for other text ideas. And now we're going to get into the purpose or the aim of this week, which is planning for success. Now, planning a text is not always going to follow the same scaffold that you've been taught for orientation, complication, and resolution. That's an important part of your text to have, but planning is not just planning those three parts of your text. There are other important details that you need to consider. They're the important details that are going to enrich your text with the depth that they need to connect to the readers. Okay, so let's explore some of those things that we need when planning. Your characters. Now, your characters need personality. If the most defining features of your character is that she's a 12-year-old girl who has long brown hair and blue eyes, prepare some pillows, okay? Because people are going to fall asleep. Your character needs a personality. They need things about them that make them different to others, that make them human, okay? That make people connect with them. It's not just going to be explaining that the hair color, the eye color, the height, the color of the shirt, the size of their ears, things like that. Now, the character features are not just physical. Okay, think about your favorite characters from some of your favorite stories and ask yourself these questions. Why are they your favorite? Do they make you laugh? Do they love the same things you do? Do they have a silly catchphrase or quote that's really memorable? Are they brave but also a little clumsy? What are the things about them that make them real? Okay, even though our characters are fictional, we want to make them real people that have depth to them, that have something about them that makes them memorable. Now, your setting is also an extremely important part of your planning. An interesting story will always be set in an interesting place. Now, that does not mean that you have to have an enchanted forest or a haunted mansion or a magical kingdom. We've heard it all before. We've all seen stories, we've all written stories with these as our setting. But these are not the only things that are interesting. Okay? An ordinary place can still be interesting. So, places, just like people, they store memories, they store laughter, they store evidence for things. Make your setting interesting by giving it purpose. Think of your setting as another character in the story. Why is it important that your characters are there in that moment? Is something that's in that setting going to come back in the end of the story and reveal a big part of the clue and solve a mystery? Why are those people in that place at that time? Now, obviously, the most important part is your plot. To plan your plot, and this is where the orientation, complication, and resolution template comes into play. Now, have you heard the phrase, the plot thickens? This refers to a story that has been made interesting through twists and turns in the text. Your plot needs to be well paced. Avoid essential pieces of the puzzle just appearing suddenly. Make it known and make that moment important. When the character's realizing something, go through their thought process, go through the chain of events that end up at that important moment. Don't just throw important things into the scene. Describe the moments that characters have an important realization in detail. Okay, as I just said, detail their thought process if they're solving a mystery. Plan the transitions between different events in the story. So someone does not go from walking on the ground to suddenly flying in the air on a magical book and then ending up battling some sort of monster in the sky. How did these things happen? What was the character feeling, thinking, seeing as this happened? Are your series of events linked logically? Okay, now with all of that in mind, what I would like you to do is head back onto Canvas, now it says choose one of the texts because I assume that we'd all be together for this lesson, but choose the text, the imaginative text that I've assigned to you, or alter a little bit to suit your interests. And that's going to be your focus for the rest of this term and the beginning of term 2 until we move on to our second text allocations. I want you to head onto Canvas to create a plan for your text. Make sure you plan the plot, the characters, and setting in detail to make the writing process easier for you. When you have that detailed plan, going into writing is going to be much easier because you have all of your thoughts down on paper. Since this is going into a magazine, a school magazine, I want you to also plan the visuals or the images or illustrations that you think would add value to your story. The images should also express something from your text, so it should be showing a character's emotions, an important part of the setting, or the important clue that solves the mystery. Okay, so I want you to head onto Canvas and you will see this over here. So you click onto the Young Writers Club image, and here you will be able to start planning your text. If I take it into student view, this is what you'll see. Okay, so you can click text over here to type straight into it, or if you're going to do it on a Word document and things like that, save it, you can then upload it as a file over here. That is due before the next time we meet in week 10, which is the Friday, the 5th of April. Now, once you've planned your first piece and submitted that for me to see, I also have this little challenge here, and it has something to do with the first video that you should have watched before starting the lesson. And it says, choose a place and write a 300-word story without using adjectives. Salman Rushdie believes that when you can't describe a place, this is when it forces you to start storytelling. So how can you make it known that a place is beautiful, haunting, or majestic without using the words? Well, you tell a beautiful, haunting, or majestic story instead. So once you've planned your piece, I again want you to click onto the Young Writers Club, and I want you to partake in the challenge. Write a 300-word story with no adjectives. Alright, now that's the end of my video lesson. You have all of those activities to submit to me online, and they are not due right this second, but they are due as long as they are done before the next time we meet. Then you can complete them whenever you have that time. I'm not sure when you're watching this, but since this will be posted on Friday, then I hope you have a very beautiful Easter with your families, and I hope you stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.